Hey friends, it's Corey with Raising Kings Farm, and in today's video, we are going to be talking everything about preparing yourself for getting a bulk grocery order. Okay, so go ahead, pop your AirPods in, get some dishes done. It's just me sitting here and not super exciting today. I have a blanket, it's getting chilly here, so let's just get to it. So the first thing I totally recommend is that you get organized. Seriously, if you're not organized, it is a recipe for disaster to do a huge bulk order because you will just get super overwhelmed. Trust me, don't ask me how I know. But I mean organized in all kinds of ways if you're going to do a huge order. So I'm not saying like if you're just getting a restock of something or a smaller bulk foods order, you're fine. But if you're doing a large, like for several months stock up, definitely get organized. I mean, like get your home organized, not the whole house, because we would all be never ordering, right? So I am insinuating your kitchen. So how's your fridge looking? How are your shelves looking? Do you know where you're going to store this stuff? That is huge because no one wants to be super overwhelmed and not know where to put all this stuff and then just live with stuff all over the place. So go through your spices, throw out some old stuff. Notice stuff apparently is the word of the day. Usually I say so all the time. Today it's stuff. So get that stuff organized, right? That is going to just lead to a much happy, seamless transition. So I'm going to be looking down here. I do have a list. Get your pantry organized. Get yourself a little bit of an inventory. So as you're sifting through things, maybe you notice you have way more of something that you didn't realize. And maybe you can tell in a couple of months you're going to be out of something and you need to restock that. Here's one that is super crazy, and people don't usually think of this, is take a look at your calendar and get that kind of organized. Like the next 6 months, like what holidays do you have coming up? What birthdays, what kinds of things that do you have that are going to be happening that you maybe need to get things purchased for? So clearly right now I'm recording this a week before Thanksgiving. That's coming. Christmas is coming, New Year's is coming, like holiday baking is coming, all of that. So maybe you're finding yourself watching this later in the year. Just take a look at your calendar so you can be better prepared to feel like you're stocked up and you feel good. You're not having to run to the store for 1 or 2 ingredients. Just be prepared, right? Okay, so now you have a organized kitchen-ish, right? Like it's not gonna be perfect, but at least you know you kind of rotated through things. Have a bit of a running inventory of what you're needing. You have your space kind of designated. You have an idea of all of the things. Next is to take a look at your budget. So number 1 is get organized. Number 2 is your budget. The best thing to do is set your budget before you even visit AzureStandard.com or wherever you're going to be bulk buying from. Set your budget and stick with that because it is so easy to trick yourself and think like, well, I need this and I need that. And then when you go over budget, it's really hard to go back down because you're like, well, I need all these things. Well, maybe you don't need a 12-month supply of everything. Maybe you don't need a 100-pound bag of laundry detergent because that is going to definitely put you over your budget. So the best deal there is just to have an idea of how much you're wanting to spend on that particular purchase. Look over your calendar, like I mentioned. Look over the meals that you're going to be wanting, birthdays, things like that. At the same time, you can kind of look out your meal plan. So the best time to kind of like come up with meal ideas is when everything's still in your cart, like when it's not here looking at you in the face and then all of a sudden you're like, going on some kind of a Thai food run and you don't have any of your ingredients for Thai food, you know what I'm saying? So like think of some of your family's favorite meals and make sure that you can make that for several times. We also, in our meal list for the week, we have a few meals that we have every week just because you can stick leftovers and real basic things in them. We always have egg casserole once a week, and it's really just like leftover whatever could possibly be good in an egg casserole, and we stick it in there. So we have egg casserole. We also have pizza night. So pizza night's Friday nights at our house. Super basic and easy to make. And we just put on top of the pizza whatever we kind of have laying around. Right now, the kids are super enjoying barbecue, and it's like ham and pineapple pizza. It's their favorite right now. So, you know, kids, like we'll just run with it as long as it goes. And then one day it'll be like the craziest thing ever and they won't want to eat it anymore. So we're enjoying it for now. But I also have put pulled pork and sauerkraut or just whatever I find in the fridge in there. So that is another one of those meals. It's kind of just like whatever we can make with it. Think of some things like sides. So can you get your family behind eating rice? Rice is something really simple to make. It's super easy to bulk buy rice. And can you get can that work out for you guys? Beans is also another super affordable. I used to think of like rice and beans, I was like, what? How can people just live on that? But seriously, like you can toss beans into your soups. It doesn't have to just literally be like baked beans and rice. Like there's some versatility there. So we like to add, in previous videos I mentioned black bean brownies. We make chili. I do make our own refried beans. I should definitely share that recipe because it is amazing. We make beans in our soups, baked beans, just all kinds of things. It just is a good filler, bulker up of things, and it's healthy. So there's that. So look up your basic meals, find your favorites, and ensure that you can kind of tend to your family's favorites. That will make all of this fun. I would say really stock up in spices, guys. Like get creative, if you open your spice rack and it's not full of mason jars, like your spice cabinet, y'all, like just, you gotta just go for it. So I always am buying my spices in 1 pound bags and we go through it a ton. You can just really ramp up anything with a ton of spice, guys. Just go for it. Just go for it. Trust me. I also don't use, I don't always use like teaspoons, like the measuring teaspoons. I literally, guys, just grab a spoon out of my drawer, like a spoon to eat soup with. And that's how I season my food. Like we like seasoning. We like to have flavor. So we do that. So there you go. Helpful tip there. And now we are back to saying so all the time. Okay. Lastly, prepare yourself. Oh, that's what I was going to mention about in the calendar too. Prepare for this order. So if it's, I'm not saying you have to order from Azure. You can go to Costco, you can go to the grocery store, you can go wherever. But mentally prepare yourself for the amount of food that's coming in. Where are you going to store it? Do you need some storage options? So a lot of this will just come in a big bag. It doesn't come, unless it says on the website, it doesn't come in like a nice storage container. It'll just come in a huge bag. So if you're getting 25 pounds of beans, it's coming in a large brown paper bag, clearly marked and all of the things, but it's not going to store wonderfully like that, but it could. But let's think ahead of how we can store all of our things optimally, and that would be maybe in a food grade bucket. Do you have enough of those? How many do you need? that is one thing that I do at the end of my ordering is I look if am I ordering anything I haven't ordered before. I added some additional beans on my last order, so I knew I needed some more buckets for that. So make sure that you have everything organized and able to store things. Look at your calendar and clear yourself some days. This is not a normal grocery adventure. This is gonna take some time, even when you're completely organized, especially if it's your first time ordering a huge amount. It's just gonna take a couple of days because you've got your spices coming in. Those can kind of get set to the side. Like you've got like your priority list, like your frozen foods. We order in bulk, like 50 pounds of frozen things at a time. And we divvy those up into smaller portions. And then we send those out to the freezer. So like our first day is usually freezer items, fridge items, whatever that is, we like deal with it. Then we have the next day is kind of like our storage, like grains, like getting stuff into beans go right into food buckets. My grains go in the freezer right away. Then we have seasonings. So then 1 pound seasonings, you don't want to open your cupboards and have just a bunch of bags in there. So we do like pint-sized jars. And then I use 4 jars actually I just started doing it. So you can totally use nothing. But they have these like vacuum sealers that you can seal the top manually, and then that way your spices will stay fresh longer. I just pour mine into mason jars, label the top, and put 1 up in there, up in my cupboard. As far as salt, that usually goes in a bucket, not a huge one, but like a bucket of salt. And then I just fill what I need in my cupboard. But we just make sure we get all of our seasonings sorted and put in use right away. So then we've got then you just have like odds and ends left. Things that maybe you wanted to preserve, but you have some time. Like then I got into after all of that, I started working on my beets project. Then I started working through some of the frozen fruit, made some cranberry sauce and canned that. Like things that can kind of wait and you can kind of move through those throughout the week. But it does take time. Like otherwise it'll just get very overwhelming and things just don't get done. And if you're a mom, like you just have like mom things and then you have like, all of this. And I do not want anyone to be overwhelmed by any of this process. So I just want to help you be better prepared and no surprises. And sometimes in your first couple of times doing this, it's like, you don't know what you don't know. So I'm just helping you out. Take whatever I say as a grain of salt. I'm just trying to help. But I would love for you down in the comments to share how you prepare for your bulk food orders. What are some of your favorite staples? Here are, if you aren't for sure what we usually order, I will link our latest Azure haul down in the description. But thank you so much for coming along with us today and discussing how we prepare to bulk order. This was top of my mind because I had some extra Azure cash saved from previous orders, and I was just going to order some last things that didn't make it on our last shipment, and my drop time closes tomorrow night. So I was literally doing just this, and I thought I should share it with my friends. So guys, I hope you are having a great day, and we will see you next time. Bye.